Hello and welcome to the video series of what to expect in your first weeks as a nursing student at University of Northampton. My name is Louise and I'm a first year nursing student at University of Northampton. This is video 4 of 4. Within video 4 we'll give a brief overview of some useful phone apps, which are the My Northampton app, where you can register your attendance as well as look at other systems such as the Skills Hub, for example. And we'll also look at the Blackboard app, which is where you can access the NILE system. We'll also be looking at the Skills for Health, which is also named mandatory training, your e-learning for that. And we'll also be looking at a system called Pebblepad, which is where you can access your anatomy and physiology workbooks, which you'll be working on quite soon after your first module starts. I'll also go through some tips for creating a learning workspace at home, the stationery, etc. that I would suggest that are good for having to hand when you get started. And I'll also give some tips about setting up a cohort WhatsApp group, so as you can get to know your cohorts.
This is the My Northampton app. There are two apps which I'll be showing you that are very useful to download to your phone or tablet. So the My Northampton app is the one that's shown on here. I have an iPhone, but I'm sure it's very similar on an Android phone or Windows phone. So I'm just going to open that up and show you how this works. You log into it using your NILE password, which is your student ID and password that is set up. And in this you can access your university mail, you can access your central timetable, which I've gone over before, so not the module one, so in the calendar there is a central timetable, lots of other things you can go through, so the academic skills tutorials, etc. You can click into this to go into NILE as well. However, I'll be showing you a different app, which is actually NILE/Blackboard as its own individual app. So I would probably go through that. You've also got down here, you've got links to all the different social media and other websites linked to the university. Now, down at the bottom of this page is what I think is the most important part of this app, and this is to register your attendance. So when you attend lessons or lectures, both face-to-face and online, you need to register your attendance. So both face-to-face and online, you should be given a attendance code within the first 10 minutes of that lecture. That then needs to be uploaded by you into this app. So you'll come onto this app, click on to register your attendance, and it's going to show the lectures that are for your day. So this morning I had a 10 o'clock lecture, so I'll click on that, and when I'm given the registration code, I would start typing it in, and once I've done that, I'll click done and register. It will then tell me that has that's marked me as successfully registered, or it will tell me that it's an incorrect code, and that I need to request the code from my tutor. The code this app will register you as late if you do put this code in more than 10 minutes after the lecture has started. So make sure that you have been given the code and you have put it into this app within 10 minutes. It's very important that you only register yourself as attending the lecture if you are actually attending the lecture. It's extremely important that you don't share the registration code with anybody who isn't in the lesson, but that will be made clear obviously once the course has started, and the tutors will make that very clear as to academic practice, etc. And I'll now go on to show you the other app. The next app that you will want to download is the Blackboard app, and this is where you will find Nile, which is in its own app. So look up Blackboard in your application search, depending on whether you're on iPhone, etc. So I'm on iTunes, so I'm going to open this. I have already downloaded it, so I'm going to open and show you the app. Now it will ask you to log in. So if I show you, this is my Blackboard app, and this is going to give me the activity stream, which is what the first one. This is going to show you the updates on all of my courses that have been sent out to me. So this is this week. It also sends me, when there is a new notification, it will send me, when there's a new announcement, it will send me a notification. I'll go into my courses and I can access pretty much everything that's in Nile. I can access through this app. So if I go into my course, I can access all of the announcements, messages. If I want to look at the pre-work for the session, maybe for today, let's say, I can find that. If I go into, let's say, a lecture, and I want to have a look at the pre-work, so I'm going to find my pre-session work, and I'm going to have a look and see what my post-session work is. And I can also find the PowerPoint slides, just like I can if I go onto Nile using my laptop. So this is very, very handy. I'll also be able to find my module timetable. So I can go onto there, and it's on the attachment on the right hand side at the top with the paperclip. I can find that. I can download that onto my phone. I can also access the classrooms via this app as well. I've not personally done this, but you can do that via clicking Virtual Collaborate Classroom. I wouldn't necessarily advise that you do that very often, because it's not necessarily as good as doing that on your laptop, on a desk, etc. But you know, these things happen, and you may need to access a class whilst you're out, or something's happened to your laptop, etc. So you can do that. You can also submit work, but like I say, this app is really for looking at things, looking at your courses, etc. whilst you're on the go. You've also got you can see due dates, and if I clicked on my name at the top, I could see all of my personal information as well. There is lots of information, so if I wanted to check and see how I can use it, or use Nile, I can go into the Blackboard Assist, which is in that menu on the left hand side at the top, and go into here. So that's the app, and I would definitely advise getting that downloaded onto your phone ready.
One of the first pieces of work you will be doing as student nurses when you begin your course will be something that is called Skills for Health, which is your mandatory training that you need to do before you go out onto any placements, etc. So to access this, you will need to go into the course, which is in Nile. I am part of the 20/21 cohort. So I'm going to log into here, and I'm going to, on the left hand corner at the top, go into this course or this modules menu. I'm going to scroll down, and I can see that there is a link here to mandatory training. I'm going to click on there, and I'm going to come down. So there's lots of guidance on here of what you need to do. There is a video which is very helpful, which has been made showing you exactly how the e-learning classes are and what you need to do and how you need to do them. So I'm not going to go into each one and show you exactly, because the video is already here for when you come to do your mandatory training / skills for health. So coming down here, scrolling down, it's going to show you all of the mandatory training / skills for health that you need to do per year. So in year 1 you'll need to do conflict resolution, fire safety, infection prevention, control, etc., etc., and that needs to be, all of those need to be completed within year 1, and normally within the first month or 2 months of your training. You'll be given a date that you need to have these done by. Year 2, scrolling down, and these are your yearly courses that you need to redo. So the ones in year 1, this is where you're going to redo your training for those in year 2, and then scrolling down again, year 3, this is showing you what you need to do again in year 3. You've got course instructions here, and there's lots of, if you scroll down, lots of links here to get into the courses. So what you'll do is you'll literally just click in, and where I've done this before, you can see my attempt previously, you will start new submission. So if you clicked on that start new submission, it will then relaunch the course, and you'll then go through there. Now, once you have completed one of the modules, if I bring the course menu out, the left hand side at the top, and I scroll down, I can go into feedback and grades. This is how I'm going to see what I've passed and what I still need to do. So if I scroll down, I can see that all of these different courses within mandatory training or within this module and the dates of when I last went into, or when I last did something on those courses, on those mandatory trainings, and the mark that I've got. Some of these I did need to redo. I didn't pass them first time, and that's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. If anything, I learnt more because I had to go back through the course, and you know, it's not a problem whatsoever. They didn't take a long time to do. Some of them took maybe 30 minutes. Some of them did take a few hours to go through. And you know, some students worked out, you know, there are quite a few to do in that first year. Some students worked out where they were doing one a week, or a few a week, or one a day, before and after lectures within the first few months of the course. I spent an entire weekend getting these done, and like I say, some of them I didn't pass first time, I had to redo, and that's absolutely fine as long as you come out with your pass mark at the end. Most of them are that you need to get 80 to 85% to get a pass mark, and it will come up at the end of the course. At the end of each one of these assessments, it will come up with your pass mark and whether you have passed that, or whether you need to redo that module again. The last system that I am going to show you is something called Pebblepad, and you will receive your Pebblepad passwords, login details via your email. Pebblepad, once you have been logged in and enrolled onto your course. So you'll get this after you get your NIL passwords. So it might be in that week, or it might be a few days in. Now, to get onto Pebblepad, it's pebblepad.co.uk, or you can just type in Pebblepad into your search engine. It will come up as your first choice. To log in, you just go to menu up on the right hand corner, and then down the list come to login. You're going to click where it says I use Pebblepad through a university or organisation. You're going to click login, and then you're going to look through this list. If you type U, but you're going to search University of Northampton, scroll down and find University Northampton, not the one where it says SSO testing only. You need to find just the University of Northampton. Click that one there, and it's going to bring you up a page that has the University of Northampton Pebblepad, and then it's going to ask you to put in your Pebblepad password and username. So your username will be your student ID, and your passwords will be the one that they've sent you. It will then ask you to create your own passwords. So I'm going to log in. Now, Pebblepad does have some tutorial videos, so I'm not going to give you too much information on this. But if I scroll down this page here, you've got the Learning Centre. So you can click into the Learning Centre and they have videos to show you what Pebblepad is, and I would definitely suggest that you do that before you start doing any work at all. But I'll give you a quick example of exactly what kind of work you'll be first doing on Pebblepad. Now, Pebblepad, it does incorporate quite a lot of different things, but first of all, you will be doing workbooks. So, to search for a workbook, you'll be going into resources and you'll be searching what it is that you're looking for. We can click up onto the right hand corner, click onto workbooks, so that's all that comes up. Now, depending on what workbook it is that you're doing, let's say you can see on your timetable that your first anatomy and physiology lesson is on cardiology, let's say, so it's an A&P on cardiac. We're going to click into that workbook. Before we do anything at all, we're going to save it. That's then going to save into our assets. So if I go back to my Pebblepad homepage, I'm going to go into my assets, which is just below where it shows my name. And in there, it's going to have the books that I have, or the workbooks, etc., that I have put into my assets. So you can see that the assets that I've put in, the first one or the second one being the A&P cardiac. So if I click into this, I'll quickly show you a workbook. I haven't actually done this workbook yet, but basically it gives me all the information that I need, and it is telling me the book that will be good to help me with this, doing this workbook. If I click into the next title, next chapter, let's say, scroll down, it's got lots of information. It will be asking me to watch videos. There'll also be parts where I need to fill in information. There will be possibly sometimes there's little tests included in the workbook, lots of different things. And you just go through the entire workbook, saving as you go. If you do anything at all, just make sure that you've saved it. So you've got the anatomy, etc., and you'll probably find, so just here, you'll find a table here where it's saying that I need to fill that out. So usually I can use pretty much what I've already learned through that workbook, if not using that book that I've been told or suggested that I use for reference, and then it's asking me to fill this out. Now, once this workbook is then finished, it's showing this asset has been shared for assessment. This means that the lecturers can view the work that I've done on this workbook. But that's pretty much a basic view of Pebblepad. Some tips for starting your course whilst learning at home, possibly, is definitely to dedicate an area in your home for where you will attend your online classes. Somewhere quiet with space for your laptop or computer, with good lighting and desk space to write notes. Definitely get yourself an A4 notebook, pens, highlighters, etc. Some folders in order to store your notes in an organised fashion so as you can find them easily are a great idea. A whiteboard to write your to-do lists, for example, are great ideas so as you can easily remember what work you need to complete, as there can be various different work set up for you or set for you with different due dates that can be running alongside each other, so it can be quite easy to forget or miss a piece of work if you're not completely on the ball with that. If you have not taken notes during classes before, academic classes before, then YouTube has some great videos showing you how to do this in the most efficient way. You may need to go back over your notes weeks, months or years after a certain lecture, so it's a good idea to learn this skill as early as possible, so as you can always go back to your notes whenever you need them, even for assignments or just to have a look and remind yourself of anything that you need to. Setting up a cohort WhatsApp group can be a great way to get to know your fellow student nurses. You can ask each other questions and support each other throughout your course, especially at the beginning. This isn't absolutely necessary, but I would definitely suggest it is a good idea. This will take one person to set the group up, who will be happy to provide their phone number to the rest of their cohort. I would suggest that's probably a good idea to do throughout the first week of your welcome week. And that person can then add their fellow students onto the group. Having 2 or 3 admins for the group is a good idea, so as there isn't too much pressure on that one person to add everybody by themselves. It is important to set ground rules for any cohort group chat early on, i.e. being mindful of the university policies regarding helping each other with assignments, etc. Other ground rules that are useful is to set times at which people can message into the group, i.e. 8 AM to 8 PM, for example, so as you don't have 90 people messaging throughout the night when people are, say, on night shifts, and then everybody's phone's going off at 3 o'clock in the morning. Other things to be mindful is, obviously, nursing is a professional course, so it is just be mindful of tone and attitude when you're speaking to each other. Although obviously this WhatsApp group wouldn't necessarily be, it's not going to be monitored by the university or anything, and it's absolutely not something you have to do. You do need to be just mindful of the fact that you are on a professional course, and there are definitely expectations of professionalism, especially when you're dealing with your fellow students. We've now reached the end of this welcome video, and I want to tell you that you absolutely should relax and enjoy the beginning of your course. This is the beginning of a journey into an incredible career that you can take anywhere with you around the world or around your village. It absolutely will not be easy, but it will be worth it. And anything that is worth having is worth working for. Now, just wanting to wish you all of the luck in the world from January 2021 cohorts. We wish you all well and hope to see you around the university. Good luck. Bye-bye.